When I gave my life to Christ, I expected peace, freedom, maybe even a little joy. But instead, it felt like my world flipped upside down. The moment I said yes to Jesus, it seemed like everything started falling apart. Temptations got stronger. Relationships became strained. I felt lonelier, more anxious, and more attacked than ever before. And I couldn't help but ask, God, why does it feel like my life got worse after I gave it to you? If you're feeling this too, I want you to know you're not crazy. You're not alone. And most importantly, you're not doing anything wrong. When you give your life to Christ, it's not just a moment of surrender. It's a declaration of war. You switched sides. You moved from darkness into light. And the enemy doesn't like that. Before Christ, you were no threat. But now, you're dangerous. You carry purpose. You walk with power. You've got the Spirit of God living inside of you. And that scares the enemy. That's why the attacks come stronger after your surrender. That's why it feels like you're under more pressure, more resistance, because the enemy is trying to break you before you realize who you are in Christ. But here's what you need to remember. Discomfort does not mean abandonment. Just because it hurts doesn't mean God left you. In fact, it might mean He's closer than ever. He's pruning. He's shaping. He's removing the things that were never meant to stay. Sometimes, God will allow certain things to fall apart so He can build something better, something eternal. But that breaking process, it's uncomfortable. The habits you used to have don't fit you anymore. The people you used to run with start to feel distant. Your old coping mechanisms no longer satisfy you. And suddenly, you feel like you're in the middle of a storm with no explanation and no escape. But storms have a purpose. Just like a seed must be buried before it grows, sometimes you have to feel buried in darkness before God brings growth in your life. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. Let me say that again. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. Prepared to stand strong, prepared to resist temptation, prepared to carry the weight of your calling, prepared to be a light in the dark. Jesus never promised following Him would be easy. In fact, in John 16:33, He said, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world." So yes, the trouble may come, but so does His peace. Yes, you may feel the heat, but you're not alone in the fire. Yes, your old life may fall apart, but a new one is being built on a foundation that cannot be shaken. You might not see it now. You might still be in the confusion, the pain, the loss. But hold on, because this is not the end of your story. Giving your life to Christ doesn't mean you won't face hardship. It means now you face it with purpose, with strength, with hope, and with a God who fights for you, even when you can't see Him. So if your life feels worse after choosing Christ, take heart. You're on the right path. The narrow road isn't easy, but it leads to life. Keep going. Keep trusting. Keep leaning into Him. The pain you're feeling isn't wasted. The tears you've cried haven't gone unnoticed. God is doing something in you, even in the silence, even in the struggle. You gave your life to Christ. Now let Him shape it, even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts, because what He's building in you is worth the breaking.